at I think on was it Monday or Tuesday, I was like, wow, hadn't noticed that. So yeah, the days what day's the longest? It's the
I think it's
21st.
June, like June 21st.
Yeah, it's right there usually. Yeah, so and then from there it's downhill to the icy abyss of winter. So
I mean, we're 8 days from summer. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, we're not even to summer yet, so we can't talk about winter yet.
No, not yet.
All things considered, so far this year, it hasn't been too bad. Really, I feel like spring actually brought some spring-like temperatures overall.
Yeah,
I mean, we usually don't get a lot of that. It goes from like 2 weeks of spring to dead-on summer.
Yeah.
So gotta like that. Gotta acknowledge that. Thank you, weather, for what you've done.
Yes, thank you, weather.
Let's see, what else is happening today. So I think Governor Abbott has announced he is going to bring in activate the National Guard and everything so we don't have the same kind of junk happening in Texas that Los Angeles allowed to happen.
Good.
So that's good because, I think Saturday is this day. I looked into this a little bit. It's like No Kings or something. I don't know. They've got like 1,500 protests planned. I'm not exactly sure what these people protest either. They're just, they're paid protesters that are bussed in to make it look like there's protests going on. And then they start doing a bunch of stuff, burning things and everything, giving the impression that people are just wildly unhappy, And I'm like, if you just really stop for a minute and look around, it's like, things are all right. And what are they so angry about, I always look at that. I'm like, what are you so angry about? Gosh, settle down. You're an angry little elf. These protests,
naughty.
But I mean, really, it just sometimes I'm like, man, take a deep breath. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. You know what the rest of us do when times are tough? We go to work and we just keep doing stuff. That's what you do. That song, the Bailey Zimmerman, Luke Combs song, backup plan. You get back up. That's your backup plan. Yeah. You don't go and go out and start burning cars and stuff.
Either that or to go to one of those places that you can break stuff, and
right?
Pay
yeah,
for
just
it.
go in there. Yes, a rage room. That's what
there you go. That's what you need.
The world is not your rage room, moron.
But Tammy says, have a margarita and chill.
Right. That's what normal people do. And I'm always amazed, too. It's like, where do these people find the time to go stand around all day shouting angry things? Man, I'd be down there, but I got to work.
I know.
I have a career to attend to here.
How do they pay their bills? I guess they get paid to go to these riots, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I guess
surely it's probably not enough to sustain themselves, but it's like, be an adult.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's stunning. But anyway, Saturday's supposed to be a big day because I guess Trump has they're doing the 250th birthday of the Army.
Mm-hmm.
And, so then there's a lot of people that think that there's something bigger going on and that's just a reason to bring in military stuff in Washington and have it there because something big's going to happen. It's just, we live in the weirdest times right now. Every time you hear stuff, it's like, oh, but you know what's going to happen here. You know what's going on, actually. And so you're like, oh, no, I don't really. Why don't you tell me? What? What's going on? But, at the end of the day, it just always seems like people are just doing stuff. You're just living life and moving on. And I don't know. So we'll see what happens Saturday. I can't imagine, though. I mean, you go into these big cities, and that's where, I mean, even in Texas, Texas is a red state. It's got good, hardworking people, good Americans, patriotic Americans, good Texans, people that work hard. But then you go into, like, downtown Austin, and you're in third world country land with a bunch of idiots, right?
Yeah.
That's why Austin is weird. But you get right outside of downtown, and you just got regular Texas people, Americans. I mean, and so I always feel like these protest people, they can get away with that kind of stuff in certain areas of big cities because everybody in those places is pretty much morons, But you come out to, you come out to a place like Lubbock or Amarillo or, Abilene, just get into the other areas. And it's just like that song, try that in a small town. People don't tend not to want to put up with that kind of stuff typically across America, So it'll be interesting to see if anything or nothing happens
maybe
Saturday,
one or
right?
two people will be there.
Yeah, I mean, really, can you imagine? Yes, no, we're angry. Okay, get out of the road.
Get out of the road.
You're seeing,
not be in the road.
You're seeing more and more people that are tired of that.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, you do feel where people overall are just tired of a lot of this junk that we've been living with for the last 5 years. of having stuff just shoved in your face all the time and being told you're an awful person because you don't really happen to agree with this thing. And it's just been such a mess. But there's more pushback on it now, I think, than there's ever been. But I've seen more stuff about people, just driving through, protesters, and we stand in the road and bang on my car with a stick and throw bricks at me. Well, guess what? You're in the road, and I'm coming through. You see a lot more of that now.
Good luck.
Thank goodness.
You need to put a sign on your car, warning, do not get in my way.
Right.
Hey, you've been warned.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like if you stand in the road.
Didn't your parents teach you if you play in the road, you're going to get hit?
Yes, right. I know. Yeah. No, it's just you might as well just hold up a sign. I'm stupid.
Yeah,
because that's what it looks like. All right. Well, anyway, that'll be fun this weekend. See what unfolds with all that stuff. That's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got today. His Superman Day today.
Yes.
Superman.
A day to be a hero to someone. I guess that's what you do there. Wear your little red cape and you go and you do special things. It's Red Rose Day. Let's see. National Jerky Day. So that's just a day to celebrate road trip snack. Beef jerky. That's
jerky.
Good
I
stuff
love
there.
beef jerky. It's
great snack.
Yeah, for golf, for road trips, anything, man.
Nice protein.
Jerky's
It's a
good.
nice, So National Jerky Day. Here's to you, Jerky. Thank you.
Who has
all
the
you
best
do.
jerky?
I like Herky Jerky. Herky Jerky. That's
Then you turn yourself around.
that's the Hokey Pokey.
Oh, that's the hokey pokey. Okay.
Let's
Herky
see.
jerky, something different.
yeah, Herky Jerky. That's when you're all like,
Yeah.
Let's see here. What was that again, Jeff? It's when no, I won't do that again. I think I pulled something.
That's like an Elaine dance from Seinfeld.
Yes, that's exactly what I just looked like did, wasn't it?
Yes.
Thank you.
It was kind of like that, wasn't it? A little bit.
You all right over there?
Yeah.
Heimlich?
Yeah, it was just, I was laughing at your dancing.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. All right. Well, anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything to contribute? Did you bring anything to the table today? What do we
Oh,
got?
man, I brought a tortoise to the table.
Is this a good vibe story?
Oh, it is.
This is good news about a tortoise.
Yeah, you're going to
I feel like this is the second good news tortoise story we've had in the last, maybe
like
2
6
weeks or
months.
something.
No.
Oh, no, it's been pretty
Is it
recent.
pretty
'Cause
recent?
remember we
Okay.
talked about Galapagos Island, and we were talking about didn't you have a turtle, or you had some turtle story, or your kids had a turtle or something, or
Yeah, whenever
was
my
it-
stepdad passed away.
Yes, that was a great
and-
story.
Okay, that's what it was.
And
Okay.
then the next day, we're at my mom's house in the backyard, and the kids find a turtle.
Yeah.
And they had so much fun with. Anyway, we believe that was my stepdad coming back to. Grandpa was coming
that's
back to play with the
right. I
kids one
forgot
last
about
time.
That was
Yeah.
a great story, and I knew
Yeah.
them. Yeah, so that was what 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That's
Yeah.
pretty recent, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying it's unusual to have a lot of good news stories involving tortoises.
Well, this is
That's
a
all
good
I'm
one.
saying. Okay. On the run.
On the
that
run.
might be overstating, but
Yes, Ginger's owner, Sarah Jane.
Found him one quarter of a mile down the road.
Let me get to the story. Has been taking care of Ginger for 30 years. And for many of those years, Ginger shared her life with a tortoise companion named Fred. Not long after Fred passed away, Ginger was inspired to dig under the garden fence and make a slow getaway across fields to perhaps find a new companion.
oh, okay.
Some sexy music, maybe.
Well, I mean, guess we could do something here.
The escape was heartbreaking for Sarah Jane, who put posters up in her community hoping someone, somewhere, would see Ginger.
Okay.
After nearly a year, Sarah Jane had given up hope. Ginger always did a good job of blending in with her environment. And even at a top speed of 0.00012 miles per hour, Sarah Jane figured Ginger had gone far enough and that she would never be found after a year. Well, that's why Sarah Jane was shocked and elated when a horse rider spotted Ginger behind a pub about a mile away from home. Literally,
hanging out behind the pub, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And thanks to a villager who remembered the old missing poster, Ginger was finally reunited with Sarah Jane.
That's interesting. That sounds like a story from like the 1700s or something. I mean,
It does.
The tortoise was hanging right behind a pub, and the local villagers located it. I mean, this is like a very, very old story. It's interesting.
Does.
Anyway, so the girl got her turtle back, or tortoise, or whatever
After
it was.
a year of missing.
All right.
Turn it up.
Wake the fun up with Jeff Mudflap and the Gang.
That's such a visual song. You can just see that song play out in your head.
Yep.
You almost, everybody grew up with something pretty similar to that.
Oh, booze.
All right, 6:31, and yesterday turned out to be pretty nice. We didn't get any rain or anything yesterday.
No.
I know it's unusual.
Kind of looked like it was wanting to.
I know. In the afternoon there for a while, there was kind of some clouds floating around that looked like the type of clouds that were going to gather, and maybe something happened, but it never did. So what do we got today?
High temperatures today, a high of 92, but a little warmer than yesterday. So right now it's 64.
It's some days, like, even yesterday morning, I remember waking up and I walked out the front door and it was very humid and just had that, sometimes you can sort of smell like that, it's just that smell, that rain kind of, you just, I don't know, something that you go, oh, man, I wonder if we get some storms today or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But remind me of smells that, smells are so, like your memories are so tied to like smells and stuff. It's very vivid memories of things. But do you have any smells that you, I don't know, that you secretly love the smell of something? You can't really explain it, or people go, what? That's terrible. But for you, you just like the smell of that. Do you have anything like that, Colleen?
Well, I like the smell of dirt whenever I turn on my car air conditioner for the first time for the summer, and it has that dirt smell. I like that.
Okay, I like mine until it gets in my eyes.
But that's unusual, and most people go, ugh, I don't like that. But for whatever reason, you like that. Okay, for me, it's the smell of tar. Like when they're putting tar down on the roads, or especially like I don't know. It's just, I think where my memory of it comes from is when I was a kid, my elementary school. There would be a time every, I can't remember if it would be like fall. I think it was in the fall, but they would put tar on the roofs and stuff, and put, it was one of those, the school had the tar with the rocks on it, and that was what the roof of the school was. And so they would, every like early fall or something, they would be out there putting that tar. And I can just remember being a little kid and walking out there on the playground and be like, the smell of that tar. I don't know what it was. I just always loved that. So even now, when they're doing the roads and stuff, I can smell it. You don't like that? Man, I just, and probably a lot of it is because it just takes me back to a time in my life where, life was easy. I was just a kid in like third grade or something and no worries, but I do love the smell of that. So that is an unusual. Every time I tell somebody that, they go, ugh, tar. What's yours? You got a secret?
Yeah, I've
smell
got,
you secretly love?
Yeah, manure. So I like when the wind switches and the manure smell just right over me. It's like, all right, there it is.
You really like, that's interesting.
Oh,
wow.
yeah, the manure smells good. Yeah. And
that's a tough one.
Then you need to move to Amarillo. It smells like that a lot. We lived there for a while, and people would say, it's the smell of money.
Right. See, that's the way oil was for me in Lovington,
And I like that gas smell, too, when you go down, and you smell those oil wells, and
smell
that's
of
nice
oil,
too.
smell of gas.
Yeah.
Well, don't be huffing it or anything.
No, I'm not. I don't do I don't huff the manure either. I mean,
okay. Well,
so.
that's good to know.
Well, that's
I don't know if I've ever met anybody that liked the smell of manure.
Oh, man. It's crazy good.
Dusty likes
that's
the
unusual.
smell of dirt like I do.
Yeah.
See, Tammy, she says tomato plants. because they remind her of playing tag in her aunt's garden with her cousins growing up.
That's good. Okay, but
That's
I wouldn't even know what a tomato plant smells like, I don't think. That's interesting, yeah.
James likes tar smell also.
Yeah, tar, man.
That's
That's
and
that's
diesel smell. Okay, you and James, I don't know. He's kind of got
tar
a
and
little
diesel.
bit of,
Okay.
a little bit of Jeff and a little bit of Mudflap. Fresh cut wood.
Oh, that's a nice
like
smell.
that.
I'll
there,
be
yeah.
curious
Groot
if
says
anybody likes
Oh, and
manure
Groot,
smells.
doesn't he work? I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Doesn't Groot work for a fence company?
Fencing, yes, he does. So he's around that fresh
Yeah.
cut wood all the time. What?
No, I was just going to say, I'm curious if anybody likes the manure smell like me.
Well, let's see if anybody does. We'll watch for a text there. KK says the smell of tar always reminds me of going to Six Flags as a kid. I can totally smell that right now. When you mention that, the smell of Six Flags as a kid, because all the walkways and everything were paved,
Right.
pavement like that,
and it was so hot.
Yes. But
always smell
that's a
the
smell that
food.
takes me back right there. Yeah, but it would be the smell of that tar type smell and just mingled with the food. Big Dave likes propane.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm
Mike
with
likes fresh mowed grass. So does
Yeah!
Carl does too.
you. Man,
But
these
Troy-
are some good ones.
Yeah, Troy wants to know, do you like the smell of new tires?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That is definitely one that I like. The smell of tire. You go into a tire place, and it's just that's a good smell
I can
too.
smell all these right now.
Yeah. But see, I don't know, smells are one of the most vivid senses you have, to where they just take you back to somewhere, or you have a memory attached or something
crazy.
like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Jesse and Stephanie like the smell of coffee.
Coffee's
Stephanie doesn't like to drink coffee, but she likes the
smell of it. Yes,
And also diesel.
it's me with like a skull can, or dip or something. Copenhagen.
I like the smell of it, but you would never want to dip.
No, I don't want
right?
to do that. Yeah, but the smell of it, oh man, I love it.
Wow, okay.
Like chew, stick that stuff right there in your chew in your pocket. You just do like that, and it smells so good.
Okay.
Well, Butch likes the smell of manure as well.
Yes,
so there's another
thank
strange
you,
one
Butch.
out there.
Yes.
Sorry, Butch.
Another stranger. She just called us strange, Butch. Let's start a club.
Oh my goodness, got some interesting ones. So high octane racing fuel, says Scott.
Okay, that's interesting.
Like the smell of a steak on a grill. Yeah, I think we all like
that's a
that.
good
That's
one
a good
there,
one,
yeah,
William.
yeah.
Stephanie also likes the lumber store.
Yeah, the lumber. See, that's another one I can think back when I was a kid. Going into, there's a place there in Lovington, and you could walk in and just smell the there was even a where was it? I'm trying to think. It's one of those places. Growing up in Lovington, they had it might have been like a city drug, and I think they had popcorn in there, like a popcorn machine. It was like like an old fashioned drugstore, and you could walk in and smell the smell of popcorn. That was good.
That was good. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was even a place in Hobbs, I think, called Gibson's. It was back in the day. That was probably like a Walmart, but I think they had popcorn in there too, and I can remember the smell of that, walking in smelling popcorn.
New car smells always good.
Yeah, that's a good one. I haven't had that one in a while, so we had to talk to Colleen about that one. He's the one that gets the new car every couple of years. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Donna says powdered calf baby milk.
Huh, now I've never smelled that. I wouldn't even know that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Let's see. Ooh, I like this too, Tracy. The smell of clean bleached sheets. Just clean, just bleach. It just smells clean. I know a lot of people don't like it, and it's really kind of not healthy. But I love the smell of that.
Carl, puppy breath.
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
nice
Oh
one.
no, I'm not. That makes me puke.
No, puppy breath. I could, but my adult dog, dude, brush those teeth. Yeah.
Shannon brushes the dog's teeth. This cracks me up. She gets her finger and she sticks it in her mouth like bush, 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 bush.
Should have put it in the dog's mouth.
Road trips across the great state of Texas. Win a trip to see Luke Bryan in Dallas, June 20th.
Then a country song came on.
Or a family getaway to Six Flags. Your trip will include tickets, one-night hotel, and a $200 United Express gas card. To enter, scan the QR code at United Express locations. Road trip in summer from United Express and 96.3 KLLL.
Jeff, Mudflap and the Gang.
96.3 KLLL. Red, white, and blue through and through.
Come on.
Ron Goldman were murdered. The whole thing with O.J., who didn't, maybe, possibly, probably did. But what year was that? Do you know?
That would have been 92.
You're sort of close. You're close. What do you think, Colleen? Do you remember?
I must say 94.
94. Yeah, it was on this date in 1994 that happened. Gosh, that's crazy. It's been that long ago. So yeah, so it was a few days after the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman that O.J. led police on the low-speed chase.
The Bronco.
Okay, you
That's
win.
still,
that was the question.
Oh, that was the question.
Yeah, and what kind of vehicle? Yeah, look at
Okay.
you. Yeah, Ford Bronco. That's funny because
I think it was white too, wasn't it?
it was a white Ford Bronco.
Bronco.
Yeah. Remember, and people were standing on overpasses, and go OJ, and that's a weird thing, man. So weird. But all right, here's another question. Let's see. Don't blurt anything out yet.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
What ill-fitting article of clothing was instrumental in getting O.J. Simpson acquitted for those
No.
murders? Do you know?
Yeah.
You probably
so.
both know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's both blurt it out now. Both.
Glove.
Thank you. The glove. Okay, you're right. Everybody knows that. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Well, no, I'm not trying to belittle your answer. I just mean that that is
sounded
something
that way,
that everybody.
yes.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't say like everybody knows that. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, that is pretty common. That's all. Everybody knows. That wasn't an accomplishment. Everybody knows. No, that's not even what I was saying. Why?
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
know a couple of people who are super sensitive. You're so sensitive. I'm only saying that because I've been told that about 1,000 times. So, and it's true. All right, one more question.
Okay.
One of the lawyers on O.J. Simpson's dream team was the father of a future reality star.
I know,
Which
yeah.
one? Okay, you know this.
Yes,
do you know
I
it?
do.
Repeat the question.
Okay. One of the lawyers on O.J. Simpson's dream team was the father of a future reality star. Which one? Which reality star?
I know.
Yeah, you'll definitely have it.
Crosbyton?
Crosbyton?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're huge reality stars. Yeah. What show was the? Keeping Up with the Crosbytons. That's right. Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh,
Colleen, tell him.
Kim Kardashian.
Yes, thank
Kardashians.
you.
I knew I was right there. I was just right, like I was turning the corner, and I just didn't get it.
Keeping Up with the Crosbytons. Oh man! All right,
Man,
that was the budget version of the show. Yeah, it was. Her dad was, I think, Robert Kardashian, and he was one of the people. But he passed away several years ago.
that has vivid memories for me.
Robert Kardashian.
No, the riots. Or no.
Walks on the beach.
Everything, all that stuff. But,
Well,
yeah.
I remembered the date because I remember where I was at when that was going on, and because I worked at a law firm, and we brought in a television and had the television in the library so we could all watch the trial, and so I absolutely remember what was going on in my world that time.
I just don't really. I remember probably watching the Bronco driving down the highway and seeing it on wall to wall coverage on CNN or something probably. But I don't know. I didn't know where I was at. I'm trying to think. So that would have been 94. I was still living in. That's before I moved to Oklahoma. So I was still here. I was working at KLLL. I was probably at home. I probably hadn't come in yet. So I was probably just sitting in my living room watching. But that's funny. You have such vivid memories of where you were. That is not a moment for me that I remember where I was. I remember watching it, but I just don't have like I'd have of other big events like 9/11 or the Oklahoma City bombing, things like that.
Right.
I remember exactly where I was. But yeah, that one I just don't. Where were you? Were you living in? Were you in California?
Yeah, I was
where,
there.
Where were you at the time?
Orange County.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember pretty good. So I think I was living in Tucson.
Where?
Or is it called Tucson?
Tuscan?
No, let's see.
I was living in Tuscany.
No. I think that I that may not be the name, but
That's the
it's
town
close.
you were
That's
in?
the
In
town.
what state?
It's
California?
California.
Okay, that's
yeah.
bizarre because Carl, he said he was getting out of the Marines in Tustin,
Tustin, that's
California.
Tustin, California.
That's
That's it.
so
That's
crazy
it.
when you said that. And he's
Yes.
texting this. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are the odds?
So
You
how
guys
did-
were at the same place at the same time.
That is crazy. You and Carl were both living in Tustin, of all the places on the planet, and you're both living there at the same time.
Yeah, I'm living
Justin's
there.
rubbing it in that he wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine, Justin. All right.
Then our friend Jesse
At the door.
is at the door.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll go do that. All right. All right. Anyway, that's crazy. 31 years ago today, though, the whole OJ thing, and I saw an advertisement for a new movie. It's a remake of a movie I'm sure you hated, Naked Gun. It was kind of Leslie Nielsen, and it was one of those. Yeah, they're making, and it's Liam Neeson is in it this time.
Liam Neeson?
Yes.
He's going to do stuff like that? He's
like
such
a
a good
comedy
actor.
I know, but I think that's what's so good about it is he's sort of like Leslie Nielsen, who was always a serious actor until he did that role. But that's why it was so good, is because he was so serious and he could play over the top, and so Liam Neeson probably has that same kind of thing. But they show, there's one point where they're showing, there's some of the original people that were in that original movie, I guess, have passed away over the years. But there's a scene where it shows in the previews how they've got pictures of some of those characters, like on a wall at the police station or something.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like their kids are looking at the pictures going, oh, I miss you, Dad, and all this kind of stuff. And so it shows kind of each one of them going down the line doing that. And then they show a picture of OJ, because he was in that OJ's picture. And it's a guy playing his son, looks at him and kind of looks down and shakes his head like, oh, my gosh.
Oof.
Like, I mean, it was just kind of, you got to see it, really. It's
it had to be there.
You had to be there anyway. Look at the previews for the new Naked Gun, though, and you can see it, and then you'll know what I'm talking about.
Are you named after him?
Scott?
Jeff Scott?
No, it's just random.
There's a lot of Scotts. That's popular.
Yeah, it is very popular. Let's see here. Do you want to check in? See who all's here?
That would be awesome. Let me scroll down here to where we began. Here we go. Good morning to David, Jose, Ricky, James, Mad Marty, Brenda, Retired Karen, Nacho, Terry, JJ, Kimberly, Gary, Desi, Tammy, KK, Troy, Mike, Butch, William, Stephanie, Big Dave, Groot, Scott, Patrick, Not My Brother, James, Seal, Melanie, Tracy, Ruben, Justin, Watkins, Scott, another Scott. We got Keely, Jonathan, another Justin, Jesse, who just brought us breakfast. Thank you, Jesse. Carl, Elaine, Donna, Justin Beaver, Mark Santa, Jamie, Bob, Connie, Holly, Susan, Tina, Jimmy, and Gina.
Okay.
We're right.
Wow.
All right.
There it is.
And Don. Don always says me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, present accounted for. All right. So, welcome to another day here. If you are just joining us this morning, we're talking about earlier. We were talking about smells that you love, but that some people might go, "You like that? That's weird." And then it just kind of turned into just smells you really do just like. But so many smells are so vivid to you. You know, your memories are attached to smells. For me, the unusual smell that if I tell people I like it, they always kind of give me a funny look. Mudflap, you had the ultimate. We'll get to that in a minute. But for me, it's the smell of tar. I just love that smell, and it reminds me when I was a kid at elementary school, they would resurface the roofs on the school, and they always did it with like tar and little like gravel, I guess they put up there. But I can just remember the smell of that hot tar. We'd go out on the playground, and I just always loved it for some reason. Always, but it just, if I ever smell that now, it just takes me back to that place. So I guess that's why I like it. But a lot of people go, tar, oh, that's disgusting. But what was your smell? Jesse, you don't like it? Yeah.
No, it makes my stomach turn just thinking about it. But James and KK agree with you on the
That's
tar.
a good one, yeah.
I like the smell of dirt when you first turn on your air conditioner in your car for the season. It's got that dirt smell.
Now, see, and you're giving me a hard time about tar.
Well,
yeah, now, dirt. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You're living in the right place, that's for sure.
Yeah, really. That's
Tammy says, tar gives me a headache. All right. No, that's not good. All right, Mudflap, you had probably the most unusual smell that you like that most people would be like, what?
I think it's that unusual, but it's the smell of manure. Oh, yeah.
You and Butch are weird.
Oh,
You don't think
man.
that's unusual? I think that's pretty unusual.
No. Oh, manure, come on, baby.
I don't know anybody that ever before that's told me they like the smell of manure.
Oh, yeah. Switch those winds and come on.
Okay. I feel like you need to be by yourself for a little bit. Derek apparently likes that smell, too.
Oh, thank you, Derek.
So you, Derek, and Butch, you can create your own little club.
Yes, we are going to. The Manure Club.
Where are you going to hold your first meeting? Out the feedlot, I guess?
Oh,
Just,
yeah. Right out there.
Yeah, Tina, it smells like money. Look, I get that whole
Yep.
smells like money thing.
Yep.
I mean, growing up around the oil fields and stuff, it was always the smell of money. But I would rather smell that than manure, I'll tell you that. So.